If your skin feels looser than it used to, if your jawline isn't as defined, if you're noticing sagging around your neck, eyes, cheeks, or stomach, there's a very good chance you've been trying to solve the wrong problem. Because despite what the cosmetic industry wants you to believe, your skin doesn't lose its firmness simply because of age. It loses firmness because the collagen holding it together is slowly breaking down from the inside. And here's what should genuinely frustrate you. Most people spend hundreds, sometimes thousands of dollars on creams, serums, laser treatments, and topical procedures that never address the actual root cause of skin laxity. These treatments cover up the symptoms while the real damage continues happening deep beneath the surface. But here's where it gets interesting. Researchers have identified a compound that keeps appearing across studies on collagen, skin elasticity, inflammation, and skin aging. And this compound is not found in expensive anti-aging face creams. It's not a prescription. It's not some rare exotic ingredient flown in from a remote rainforest. It's already sitting in millions of kitchens right now. And once you see it for what it really is, once you understand what it actually does at the cellular level to the very cells responsible for your skin's firmness, you'll never look at that bottle the same way again. By the end of this, you'll know the exact dosage researchers have used in their studies, the single most common mistake that cancels out all the benefits, and why the most popular bottle on store shelves likely doesn't contain the key compound at all. Why skin actually sags. Let's start with the real reason skin loses its structure, because this is where most people get it completely wrong. Skin sagging is not an inevitable consequence of getting older. Your skin sags because every single day, your body is fighting an invisible war. And slowly, silently, it begins to lose ground. There are three primary enemies at work. Enemy number one, oxidative stress. Think about sun exposure. And I love the sun, don't get me wrong, but not sunburns. Combined with pollution, chronic stress, processed food, and even the simple act of normal breathing. All of these generate unstable molecules called free radicals. Picture them as tiny sparks. One or two? No big deal. But millions of them every single day, month after month, year after year, and they start attacking the structural scaffolding that holds your skin together. Enemy number two, glycation. This one doesn't get nearly enough attention. When you consume excess sugar or refined carbohydrates, that sugar literally binds to your collagen. Picture pouring thick syrup onto a trampoline. The springs that once bounced freely become stiff and brittle, and eventually they crack. Scientists call these compounds AGEs, advanced glycation end products. And yes, the name is no coincidence. Sugar ages your skin from the inside. Enemy number three, slowing fibroblasts. Fibroblasts are tiny cells that live deep within your skin. Their entire job is to produce collagen and elastin, the two structural proteins that keep skin firm and bouncy. In your 20s, these cells are working at full capacity, but by the time you reach your 40s or 50s, their activity slows dramatically. The result? Less collagen being produced and more collagen being destroyed at the same time. Think of your skin like a mattress. Collagen is the springs. Elastin is what lets those springs bounce back into shape. Oxidative stress rusts the springs, sugar clogs and stiffens them, and your fibroblasts stop replacing them with new ones. That's what skin sagging really is. That's the loose skin on the backs of your arms. That's the softening at the jawline. And here's why this matters so much more than aesthetics. If the problem is internal and you're only addressing it on the surface, you will never win this battle. You have to go to where the problem actually lives. What keeps showing up in the research now? Let's talk about what the science keeps pointing back to. And this genuinely surprised me. The benefits have almost nothing to do with fat content, calorie composition, or even olive oil's role in the Mediterranean diet. Everything comes down to a specific class of compounds called polyphenols. In a truly high-quality extra virgin olive oil, 3 of these polyphenols are especially important. The first, hydroxytyrosol. This is one of the most potent antioxidants ever measured in any food. Researchers have found that its antioxidant capacity exceeds even vitamin C. Remember the rusting we talked about? Hydroxytyrosol is the anti-rust agent. It neutralizes free radicals before they can attack your collagen fibers. The second, aleuropein. This compound works on two fronts. It protects existing collagen from degradation, and it calms the chronic low-grade inflammation that silently weakens skin structure over time. Inflammation is one of those invisible accelerants of aging that most people never think about, but it's constantly working in the background. The third, oleocanthal. This one has a fascinating story. You know that peppery, slightly spicy sensation at the back of your throat when you taste a really high quality extra virgin olive oil? That mild cough it triggers? That's oleocanthal. And scientists discovered something remarkable about it. Oleocanthal activates the same anti inflammatory pathway in your body as ibuprofen. Yes, that ibuprofen, a compound naturally present in genuine olive oil that functions as a natural anti inflammatory. Some laboratory studies have shown that at equivalent concentrations, it actually targets inflammatory enzymes more effectively than ibuprofen does. So if your throat tingles after swallowing quality olive oil, celebrate. That's your signal that the good stuff is in there. To summarize, olive oil neutralizes oxidative stress, protects collagen from degradation, and delivers natural anti-inflammatory action. Three of the biggest enemies of your skin's structure, and quality olive oil has a specific answer to each one. What human studies actually show now? Let's talk about the research that genuinely inspired me to cover this topic. These aren't lab dish studies. These are real people. Study 1. Granada, Spain. Researchers applied the three polyphenols I just described directly to human fibroblast cells. Remember, these are the cells responsible for producing collagen. Every single compound accelerated cell multiplication. Collagen production didn't just hold steady, it increased significantly. The cells also showed improved migration and movement, which is exactly what you want when skin is trying to rebuild and repair its internal structure. That a common kitchen ingredient could directly stimulate collagen at the cellular level is remarkable on its own. But it goes further. In a separate laboratory study, researchers took aging human skin cells, the kind that are already slowing down and beginning to deteriorate, and treated them with hydroxytyrosol and oleuropein. The markers of aging within those cells decreased measurably. In other words, the cells started behaving like younger cells. This isn't surface hydration. This is action at the level of your skin's aging mechanisms. Study 2. France, nearly 3,000 adults. In this study, researchers followed close to 3,000 men and women between the ages of 45 and 60. They tracked dietary habits over several years. Then, trained assessors evaluated the degree of sun-related damage and visible aging on participants' faces using a standardized photographic scale. The result, people who consumed the most olive oil showed significantly less visible skin aging, less facial sagging, and less photoaging. And the most striking part, even after controlling for sun exposure, smoking history, body weight, and virtually every other variable they could think of, the association with olive oil held firm. They also tested other healthy fat sources, fats from meat, fats from dairy, and found no visible benefit to the skin from those. It was olive oil specifically that correlated with younger-looking skin, across nearly 3,000 faces. This is not a coincidence. Study 3, Timeline for Results. Dermatology researchers have established a realistic timeline for daily consumption of quality olive oil. Expect improved hydration and a healthier glow in approximately 4 to 6 weeks. More significant improvements, better skin texture, reduced fine lines, and improved elasticity and firmness typically emerge at 8 to 12 weeks of consistent daily use. Study 4. Olive leaf extract cream. In a pilot study, men and women applied a cream containing olive leaf extract twice daily. After 2 months, their skin lost measurably less water, meaning it was better hydrated, and both skin texture and the appearance of fine lines had improved noticeably. These are the same core compounds found in high-quality olive oil consumed internally. So here's the complete picture. You're protecting existing collagen from both oxidative damage and glycation. You're stimulating the cells responsible for building new collagen, and you're calming the inflammation that silently erodes it from underneath. All from the same source. One more thing, squalene. There's another dimension to quality olive oil worth mentioning. It's one of the richest food sources of a compound called squalene. Your skin naturally produces squalene to stay supple and protected, but that production peaks around age 30 and then drops sharply. Olive oil gives you a way to keep supplying the same raw material your skin used to make on its own. Laboratory studies on human skin models have shown that squalene slows the development of wrinkles. One more reason quality matters. 5 practical tips for getting the most out of olive oil. These are all simple enough to implement starting tomorrow. Tip 1. Pair it with tomatoes. The healthy fats in olive oil dramatically improve the absorption of the protective compounds found in tomatoes. This is part of why genuine Italian tomato sauce, made with quality olive oil, is not just delicious, but genuinely beneficial. The combination produces far better absorption than either ingredient delivers on its own. Tip 2. Drizzle it over colorful food, not beige food. The polyphenols in vegetables and the polyphenols in olive oil appear to work synergistically. The more colorful the food your olive oil comes into contact with, the more compounding benefit you receive. Think deeply colored vegetables: greens, reds, purples, oranges. Tip 3. Olive oil and lemon. 1 tablespoon of quality olive oil with a squeeze of fresh lemon juice. This is an ancient Mediterranean practice, and it makes nutritional sense. Vitamin C from the lemon is an essential cofactor in your body's own collagen synthesis. Together, they create a small but meaningful synergy, especially when practiced consistently. Tip 4. Use olive oil during meals, not alongside them. Consuming your olive oil with food, particularly with those colorful foods and quality protein sources, is the most effective way for your body to actually absorb and utilize these compounds. Olive oil taken with a balanced meal is absorbed very differently than olive oil taken in isolation. Tip 5. 1 tablespoon of pure olive oil first thing in the morning. If you feel a slight peppery burn at the back of your throat, that's a good sign. That's oleocanthal. That sensation is actually your most reliable real-time indicator of olive oil quality. No burn? The polyphenols may not be there. None of these habits are complicated. That's the point. Consume quality olive oil daily, consistently, with the foods you're already eating. The problem most people don't know about. Here's where things get frustrating. Everything you've just learned about olive oil depends entirely on the polyphenols being present. The hydroxytyrosol, the oleocanthal, the oleuropein. But the vast majority of olive oil sold in standard grocery stores contain very little of these compounds by the time they reach your kitchen. Why? Because heat destroys polyphenols. Light degrades them. Time reduces them. Cheap processing strips them. Refining removes them. Blending with lower quality oils dilutes them. And storing the oil in a clear plastic bottle under bright fluorescent lighting for months, sometimes years, eliminates what little remains. By the time a standard supermarket olive oil reaches your shopping cart, the compounds that make it genuinely valuable may be almost entirely gone. Here's how to protect yourself. Step 1. Always buy olive oil in a dark glass bottle. Light is one of its primary enemies, and you also don't want plastic compounds potentially migrating into the oil. Step 2. Look for a harvest date on the label, not just a best before date. Freshness matters enormously. If the harvest date is more than a year and a half ago, polyphenol levels will have degraded substantially. Step 3. Choose single origin oil. Blends that combine oils from multiple countries are common, and they often dilute quality or include seed oils in the mix. Single origin means Italy, Australia, Chile, Greece, one source, one standard. Step 4. The ultimate test. Pour a small amount into a glass or spoon and swallow it straight. It should burn slightly. It should create a mild tingle or numbness on your tongue. It may make you cough gently. If it goes down completely smoothly with no sensation at all, that's a warning sign. The polyphenols are likely not there in meaningful amounts. The exact protocol. Here is the precise daily habit that aligns with what researchers have used. Consume at least 2 tablespoons of high-quality extra virgin olive oil every single day. This is the dosage that appears consistently across the studies. You can take it all at once or divide it across your meals. Take it with food, ideally colorful, polyphenol-rich vegetables alongside quality protein. Store your olive oil in a cool, dark place. Keep the cap tightly closed. Keep it away from the stove and away from direct light. And keep your expectations realistic but optimistic. 4 to 6 weeks for improved glow and hydration, 8 to 12 weeks for measurable changes in texture and elasticity. Consistency is what drives results. This is a daily habit, not a weekend experiment. The bigger picture. If you've spent years trying to improve the appearance of your skin from the outside in, it may be time to work from the inside out. Not because topical care is useless, but because no amount of surface treatment can compensate for a structural foundation that's actively breaking down underneath. Your skin isn't sagging because you're getting older. It's sagging because of an internal battle against free radicals, against glycation, against slowing fibroblasts that most people never address directly. 2 tablespoons per day, fresh, peppery, raw, in a dark glass bottle, with your meals, consistently. The compounds researchers are studying for collagen protection, elasticity support, and healthier skin aging have been sitting in our kitchens the entire time. We just weren't using them at the right quality or in the right way. That's the real story of olive oil in your skin.